Welcome to the Central Indiana Sports Report game of the week. Tipton at Frankton. I was joined by Michelle Garmon and Will Retherford interviewing Frankton head coach Marty Wells, who was live at stage 22, and Aaron Tolle on the phone. Normally most of our football coverage will be done on Thursday. I got really behind this week, so it's on Friday. But look for our previews and predictions next Thursday and our game of the week next Friday. Sorry about the technical difficulties at the start. It does clear up.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report. Marty Wells, the new head coach of the Frankton Eagles. Season begins in less than 24 hours, Coach.
We're obviously changing culture. So it's been holding the kids accountable. It's just when we've got some miles the kids have had to run. So if they miss a practice for whatever reason, they got a mile. If it's not excused, they got 2.5 miles. So they got to run those things before they can play. So tonight, before we came to our team dinner, still had 3 kids run some laps for missing some practices. So the biggest thing is just changing some of the culture and letting the kids know that we care about them off the sideline, outside the lines as much as we do.
Your first team as head coach at Frankton, but of course you've been there. You're not new to the program at all. What's the personality of this team? What's this team in particular like?
They're pretty loosey-goosey, happy-go-lucky. It's one of the closest knit group I think I've been around for a while. We've got 9 seniors, 11 juniors, and they pretty much all hang out together. Our sophomore class is down. There's only 4 of them. We got 10 freshmen. I think we got 3 new kids coming out. So we're setting at 37, but for the most part, it's a group that seems to really care about each other and get along well, and that's made it, for the coaches, that's made it fun too.
Marty, how is the team where you were kind of hoping they would be for entering week 1, or as far as what they picked up, absorbing some of the new schemes? Because I'm sure you've changed some stuff.
Defensively, we've been ahead of the offense all summer, and that's because we haven't changed the defensive scheme. It's the same scheme we've ran for the last 3 years when I was coordinator. So offensively, we've been lagging behind.
Hold on. Michelle, we need to start with offensively. I need yours. Mine's dead.
No problem.
So if you talk, I just need to.
Okay, it's okay.
Offensively, it's a new scheme, so we've been lacking behind all summer long, but I think each day and each week we've gotten closer and closer. Defensively, we're still ahead of where we are offensively, but it's starting to click. It might take another 2 or 3 weeks before and we're still tinkering a little bit with personnel groups, so hopefully by homecoming middle of September, the offense can catch up with the defense.
Unfortunately for you, the way your schedule sits, it's like most of your more challenging games are all in the first few weeks.
Yeah, Coach, you could be a pretty good team and be 0-7.
You said that, I didn't.
I'm just saying, even if you are a pretty good team, if in your schedule is a pretty good team, could be 0-7.
I agree with that. You're the one that said 0-7. I did.
Okay, I'm just saying.
In case somebody's listening. No, you're right. And, from the time I took the Madison Grant job in 2000, I've always been to play the best 2 teams we could get on our schedule, non-conference wise, that could get us ready for the conference. So as at Madison Grant, we played Western and Tipton. When I came to Elwood, we played Cecina and Tipton, and then we played Heritage Christian and Tipton. So we played some very good people in weeks 1 and 2. Then this year, obviously, we start off with Tipton, and we follow up with our big sister school rivalry, LaPel. So
just a sectional champion.
Yeah, and then we got the Grant County Swing, and then Alexandria. Alex probably got the best team they've had in a long, long time. They're loaded offensively, probably the favorite to win the conference. So you're right. The first 7 games are going to be murderer's row, so to speak.
And if Alexandria is not the favorite to win the conference, it's Mississinawa, or it's Eastbrook, or it's Oak Hill, or it's Madison Grant. Yeah, I don't think you could honestly. I don't think anyone could right now pick at 1 to 5 for certain.
No, and you got the teams that have been at the top of the food chain. They're still going to continue to be at the top of the food chain. And then you got ourselves, Blackford and Elwood, Us and Blackford, new coaches. Sammy's in his second year at Elwood, so they're relatively new staff at Elwood. So the conference is going to be interesting. I don't think there's a cupcake on anybody's schedule by any means, and it ought to be a fun season.
Coach, since we went there, let's start talking about Tipton. And was the game added to the schedule since you? Was that something you agreed to, or was it already done before you got there?
Honestly, I'm not sure why we dropped it to begin with because we played them. My first year was our second year of that contract, so we played them in 21, 22, Michelle, I think. 21, 22, we dropped Tipton, picked up Eastern Hancock for 2 years. It was kind of in the works. Brent and Corey got together, so we made it work, got them back on the schedule. And then we're also playing them in C teams, and we're also playing them in junior high now. So we're going to play Tipton at all levels throughout.
I think that's great because I think it's a neat rivalry to develop between, because I think both schools have some good tradition on their side and are kind of run the things the same way. They like to find good coaches and they stay, and which always is nice.
Yes, and like I said earlier, you want to play quality people, and if you got a quality school 30 minutes away, why not? And I shared this with the kids the other day. Tipton's had the same family name since 1983 or 85.
Yeah, Coach Mike Tolle came my senior year, which was the fall of 1981.
Mike was my freshman coach. Yes, so I've always had a good relationship with Mike and Aaron. I honestly think the respect, I don't know if respect's the right word or not, but I think there's mutual feelings between the two of us. I like Aaron. I think Aaron likes me. And so it's going to be fun. I've been on the short side way too many times against the Toll family, but I wouldn't change it. I would continue to play them every year, and you're going to get a quality opponent in week one, and that's what we want.
Will's here.
So I'm not sure if this has been asked yet. Where do you see the season kind of developing as far as your culture and your coaching philosophy and the way that you want your boys to play? Where do you see that settling in as the season progresses?
Well, I don't really want to I don't think you can put a number on wins and losses. We want to be competitive every week, get better every week, get better each and every play, and then followed by weekly, and then see where we are come October when the sectional rolls around.
You said earlier that the defense is ahead of the offense. I'm going to guess with the first two opponents, you're probably happy because week one you're getting a veteran. I mean, it's only going to be his second year, but you're getting an experienced quarterback in Quintal at Tipton with some experienced line in front of him, and then the next week you're getting one of the best, maybe the best quarterback right here in this area in Devin Craig. So I'm guessing that's kind of nice to know that that the scheme is the same and it's ahead.
And again, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, we could be a pretty good football team and still give up 30 or 40 points in the first couple of weeks. But then here comes the CIC opener, and Bodie Howell's going to come to town from Eastbrook, and he's the best athlete in the conference. So the first 3 weeks, we've got very, very good quarterbacks, and probably 3 of the top 5 in 2A are going to be on our schedule. So it's not a fun task, it's a daunting task, I guess, to look at, but we're not going to walk away from any challenge.
We are joined now by Tipton head coach Aaron Tolle. Coach Tolle, we are with Will Retherford, Michelle Garmon, and Friday's opponent, Marty Wells. And welcome to the podcast, Aaron.
Thank you. It's nice to be back. It's a great time of year.
So, Aaron, what did you learn from last Friday's scrimmage that you worked on this week?
I think there's things in every phase of the game, both offensively and defensively. I mean, when you see it's kind of the first time you've been up against an actual opponent, and when you tackle and actually go to the ground, and so we picked up some things on both sides of the ball, and hopefully we've focused on those this week and hopefully try to improve. So just tried to correct the errors that we made on both sides of the ball last week.
Still feeling like this team is going 13-0, Coach?
I never said that. You did.
That's right. I did.
No, I think we have some potential to have a really good season if things go the right way, and we can stay relatively healthy, and I think we have some ability. But we play an extremely tough schedule. Starting tomorrow night, we play a really veteran team. I think they've got like 13 or 14 starters back. Almost all of them are juniors and seniors. Well, there's that part, but they do. I mean, they're all juniors and seniors, so they're experienced. And regardless of what you think, we know they're going to be well coached. And opening weekend is always. I mean, there's just so many question marks from a head coaching perspective. We haven't seen any of our special teams on the field. You don't really know what you have until you get out there and actually play. So, lots of question marks.
Can we do the scrimmage standpoint and not do any special teams tomorrow?
It would be interesting, wouldn't it? Our special teams would. Our special teams would have been real special last week.
I think we should eliminate special teams from the game altogether. So don't even get me started on that. Coach, before you joined us on the phone, we were talking to Coach Wells about this. And of course, we talked with you on the podcast last week. How nice it is to have this rivalry back. Just a couple years off, but I think it's one that's missed. And it's a series that really needs to happen to similar sized schools in two great communities that are nearby. So
Especially across the board now. Especially across the board, going from junior high to freshman or C team and varsity. I think it's probably a pretty nice rivalry with two good school corporations.
One, we're too close together. We're the same size relatively. We play in every other sport. And to be honest, I mean, our schools and our kids are very, very similar. So it makes all the sense in the world. To be brutally honest, we were silly to ever get out of the CIC 25 years ago. That was a mistake that our school board and administration back then made. And I personally love playing CIC schools because those were the rivalries that's what I was raised on. That's what I know, and it just seems like to be a natural fit.
Well, like I said earlier,
having it back,
it was a poor decision to drop it 2 years ago. I'm just glad to have it back. When you go to Tipton, you're going to get quality people, you're going to get quality facilities. We didn't have that on the road where we went before, so there's a lot of things that factor into it besides the things that Coach just said. But you got to take in consideration facilities and our close proximity, and it's a no-brainer.
That's what you saw that maybe you wanted to clean up this week. But what did you see Friday night in the scrimmage that really pleased you?
I thought for as early in the season as we are, I thought our offensive line executed fairly well for the most part. That's usually one of the last things to come along. I thought our passing game it's kind of ahead of where a passing game usually is. Week one, it's one of the last things that gets to be timed up and put together. So those two things were nice to see. Those were probably the two things that really stood out. And then, to be honest, our young kids, our freshmen and sophomores that were playing in the twos, I thought they probably executed better than we have in a long, long time. Those are kind of the things that I saw.
So, Coach Wells, I'll ask you the same question. What about last Friday's scrimmage? Did you find that you are pleased with how it's going so far?
Well, like I said earlier, defensively, we're ahead of where we are offensively. Our number one defense held pretty strong against Yorktown. Yorktown's going to be a very good football team. Offensively, we didn't pick up what they like to do, which is they're in a 3-3 stack, and they're bringing 7, 8, 9 guys about every snap, and we didn't do a very good job with that at times. defensively, like I said, we were pleased where we were. But the biggest thing with any scrimmage, and I think Coach will agree, is we came out healthy, which is the number one goal coming out of those scrimmages.
What's the if you were going to say one thing, Coach, and we'll get back to Coach Toll here in just a second, and we really appreciate it, Coach. What's one thing that you would say you would set as a goal? Obviously, you want to win every game, but as a team, not even record wise, what would you want to see from this program from now to the end of the season?
No, the most part is be competitive each and every week. Last year we started in a tailspin and then we never recovered from it. Defensively, towards the end, we weren't very good. So the biggest thing is everybody wants to win, and that's why they keep score. If winning wasn't important, they wouldn't have a scoreboard, blah, 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 blah. But the biggest thing is just be competitive, stay healthy, because like Coach said, we do have some seniors and juniors that can play the game, but we're not very deep at any place. So that's going to be a challenge for us. We got to stay healthy if we want to compete.
With that said, with injuries and staying healthy, how nice is it? This is for both you, Aaron, and you, Marty. How nice is it to these cooler temperatures, and how will it help?
So nice.
Right, tomorrow night.
This is amazing.
Honestly, the heck with the kids. It's a lot better on the coaches.
Yeah,
Especially
amen.
when you're a little chubby like I am. It makes you sweat a little bit. But
Or old like you are.
and really old. But
Yeah.
today was very, very refreshing coming off what we've been through the last 2 weeks, and then looking at extended forecast next week. I don't think it's supposed to get out of the 70s. So
amazing.
Now, what's going to happen is at the end of September, it's going to be back in the 90s. So we're going to get accustomed to the temperatures. It's going to drop. We're going to get spoiled. Then it's going to get hot again.
We've told our kids, I mean, and I truly believe this, that first time, I mean, and I think both of us are in the same boat. We're going to have a number of kids that are doing this, that are playing both ways for the very first time in a varsity football game. It's one of the hardest things you'll do as a high school athlete. And a lot of times it is 85 or 90 degrees and it's really humid. And that first time you're playing on both sides of the ball, that's hard to do. So being the temperatures look like they're going to be down a little bit, I think that will help both teams as far as having kids be able to play both ways that first time out.
And I believe you coached against Coach Toll, right, Marty? You coached it when he played.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
You game planned against him.
It's number 81.
Man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. It's even longer when you talk about coaching against you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got a few years on you.
It's been a while. Coach, just this is a question I've always wondered because I talk about the greatest Elwood teams of all time, and the 2000 team probably doesn't get as mentioned as often as it should. You've been around all of them, and Coach Toll, you've been around all of them. Where does that 2000 team rank?
When I was playing, I mean, it's hard to compare the 87 team, the 88 team, the 89 Elwood teams. Those teams were all really good. The early 90 teams were really good to that 2000 team. I think the 2000 team, I know they won the sectional. I went to Elwood for the game. They lost to, I believe, the state champion, Roncalli, that year in the regional, if I recall. They have to compare up there with the teams of the late 80s. But all I know is we had, the CIC had in 1986, Mississinawa got beat in the semi-state, I believe 6-2 in 1986, or there would have been 3 straight CIC teams representing the North in 3A in the 80s.
In 85, 86, 87, and 88, it could have been Elwood, Tipton, or Mississinawa any of those seasons. It was just who was the better team that night.
That's exactly right. I mean, we were lucky enough to go in 88, and I would say of the 3 teams that I was a part of, the 88 team was probably the third best, to be honest. Yeah. I think we were better in 87 and 80 in both 87 and 89.
And you were the third best team in the CIC and still outdid everybody.
Yeah, we finished third in the CIC. So the CIC was just it was a great league back then, and both schools have had a lot of really, really talented football teams.
Mike Toll could coach a little bit.
That he could.
Probably still could. Probably. That's exactly right.
Well, he still tries to on Saturday morning. So
Coach Toll, thank you so much for joining us. Always appreciate it. You are welcome as often as you want. So thank you so much, and good luck on Friday.
I appreciate getting able to talk about some great times, and I look forward to a great ball game tomorrow night.
So my question, I guess, is, tonight you got a very junior, senior heavy team. What's the message as far as just embracing like one more home game? You get a home game, you get the season opener. It's as exciting in the year as you're going to get. You're expecting, a packed house, especially with Tipton coming. What do you tell the boys as far as just the nerves and staying true to your game plan?
Well, I will stand in front of them tomorrow night and tell them to take a deep breath. This happens every 7 days. It's not a big deal. Relax, play football.
Frankton is a special place, and Frankton football is a special program. What's it like to be the head coach there?
It's been fun. I can remember back in the days when I was at Madison Grant and trading films and hanging out with Coach Kress for a while. We used to meet at the Frankton Elementary School back in the day when you had to exchange DVDs and all that stuff. And,
Right.
A 5-minute exchange ended up being an hour and a half. And his wife's calling, wanting to know where he is. My assistant coaches are calling, wanting to know where I am. Neither one of us had a phone with us. Walking in that locker room brings back a lot of memories from, although we played across the way by the elementary school back in the day. But to remember him and to play on the field that's named after him is pretty cool.
It's actually kind of nice. It was actually kind of nice when Frankton ended up joining the CIC because
It was awesome.
Elwood and Frankton, just such a natural rivalry, and it's great. And Otis Kress, and it's kind of nice to know that he was a class act, started a program, and just a neat guy to be around.
You know what the difference was at Elwood between Frankton and Tipton was we liked the kids at Frankton.
Well, before Frankton came in the conference, obviously Elwood and Tipton was the rivalry. And then when Tipton left and Frankton came in, the rivalry for Elwood was Frankton. And it still is that way. On the Frankton side, I've been there. Obviously, you got Lapel. But other than that, I think the Lapel people, the Frankton people think more of Alexandria as the rival more than Elwood. But I think Elwood it's all Frankton. So it's kind of been an interesting going from one dynamic to another. And
Alexandria and Madison Grant, we
don't like any of them.
Yeah, that's right. And you've coached all of them. So and then some.
I love it because I've interviewed Marty a lot of years, and I know Aaron talked about it when we interviewed him earlier about he misses those days, but he's going to be glad to get to see you because he misses the days of trading meetings somewhere. He goes, used to meet Marty at the Hobbs Rest Park, and I thought, I used to interview Marty at the Hobbs. That's where we would meet to do the football preview, was at the Hobbs Rest Park. So, those things, it's a changing world, man. You send out an email and download them huddle films, and I'm guessing that maybe that's one aspect of high school football that coaches, especially the veteran coaches, really miss is the socialization that you have on Saturday.
The CIC coach has always been a special group. And when I was at Madison Grant, we used to meet every Saturday morning at the Outpost at 9 and 26. So all 8 CIC coaches ate breakfast together. We brought our films with it, our DVDs, our rosters, our depth charts, and all that stuff. And we sat across for whoever would get ready to play the following week, ate breakfast together, exchanged those films, and it went back. And now, with technology, it's a couple clicks, and you've emailed your game film for the night before, and you can send it to, hundreds of people at once. So that's a lot of change. And so that's
Coach Toll said the exact same thing in our interview last week.
It's that part of it taking the socialization and some of the close-knit things you get with coaches, taking it away from them.
We're going to do a live coaches show at some point. We hope that at some point this season, but at the very least at the beginning of next season. So we'll get a little bit of that back. Thanks so much, Coach. Always appreciate it, and it's nice to have you back as a head coach.
Appreciate it.
The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.